Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Victor, and for today's video, we're gonna be revisiting a deck review that I've done a few years ago. A big reason why I wanted to redo this because this is one of my most popular videos on this channel. And now that I have just better equipment like better lights, better camera, I think it's only fair to be able to do a revisit on this deck, kind of where I am with it now, what are my thoughts year or two later, do another flip through of it, and just kind of give you my candid thoughts around it. If you are really enjoying this content and you really want to support maybe me going back into some of my old deck reviews and just kind of give it another fresh look, feel free to let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel where I'm trying to make a little difference in this little corner side of the YouTube world. So without further ado, let's get started. So back a few years ago when I made this video right here, I was just working off from my Logitech camera and I was just taking the copies that I was making on my Twitch stream and just posting them on YouTube. I had a smaller setup and it wasn't as intricate or at least as luxurious, as I like to say, as I do right now. And so, but I have been able to see how people are attracted to just being able to see different flip throughs of different decks that I have and my genuine thoughts around it, and have you take a sneak peek of what these decks look like to see if that's something that does interest you. So for this deck that I do have right here, this is a deck created by Toreka. This is the company that has made this particular deck, and they do have some other decks to go along with it. This is the one that drew my attention the most. It does have a more of a Tim Burton illustration and artwork that goes along with it. So it does make it pretty neat to be able to see a different art style, something a little bit darker, moodier, but still the artwork in itself really stands out and it pops above everything else. The borders around the deck are very unique, and the actual edges of the cards that you see are very unique for both the limited edition and the regular edition to go along with it. If I'm not mistaken, because I did this a few years ago, this is the very first edition of the deck, if I'm not mistaken, because it doesn't even tell me what edition number it is. So that's how you know this is one of the OGs, and it was back in 2018 when I first got this deck. I'm going to be showing you both the limited edition, the one that it says currently that is sold out on the website, as well as just the regular edition. And maybe through the different iterations, this deck has changed a little bit. But I wouldn't say so drastically, probably polished some of this other stuff. But if you want to take a look at some of the original stuff and then compare it with some of the stuff that they have on their website for their later editions, feel free to do so. I think the artwork is really outstanding and majestic, and it really just makes you feel like this is just a very genuine and authentic deck. One thing that I will point out in regards to the card quality in itself, for the limited edition, it does have a rose petal feel on the back of the cards. I think that's what makes it very unique, and it almost gives it an extra genuine approach to even having this be more of a collector's edition versus something that you would use on a regular basis. Compare that to the normal deck that we do have. I will say that as I've used this deck, is not the easiest one to shuffle because a lot of the cards tend to kind of stick together. I'm not sure if this is something that was improved in later editions of the deck. But you can definitely be able to spot that there is a high-end quality to this, where they're not going to bend very easily. They're going to hold their weight very well. They are going to be more on the sturdier side. So you can bet that this deck is going to last for quite a while. I think these are some of the minor things that I'm just going to note right now. So without further ado, let's just get to the flip through. All right, so that was a little bit longer of a flip through just because I wanted to do it justice on both the limited edition and on the regular one as well. As you can see, there's a size difference when it comes into the limited edition where it's just bigger. It's more of that bigger print to go along with it. So if you definitely need that extra help, just be able to see it clearer, you want to handle the cards a little bit bigger, then that's definitely a really good option. I'm not sure if this is something that can be sold or even found on things like eBay or otherwise, since they are currently out of print and it was for a limited edition during the time that I was able to get it. However, on the regular edition print, having the black edges on the side was just a really nice touch to make it look very sleek, very professional, just make it look very authentic. There's just something about the black edging that really fits in well with the back and as well as with the front that goes well with the actual frames of the cards. Another thing that was really stood out is personally on my day-to-day, I definitely tend to use this deck more when I have more of like a moodier approach. It's one of the times where I usually tend to pull out this deck. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it's not the easiest one to shuffle because personally, I like to do more of like a riffle shuffle. And these cards, because of the way that the card stock is very sturdy, very durable. This is not the most approachable if you just want to go and do a riffle shuffle, but rather this is one of those where you just want to do like a side shuffle for the most part, or if you just kind of want to pull a card one at a time and then just kind of shuffle them around. That's probably the best way to go. Another thing that I noticed is sometimes the cards tend to kind of stick together. So probably give it a little bit more use and that should not be a problem, I think. But something to keep in mind that the card quality was one of those things that takes the spotlight for this deck. And you can definitely notice it in all aspects of handling it as well as shuffling. So if this is the kind of content that you really are enjoying, I really recommend that you subscribe to the channel. Look forward to more content like this. In addition, I also started doing another series here on this channel called the Kickstarter Gems. And for that particular part of my videos, I try to focus on finding hidden gems through Kickstarter or other crowdfunding sites in order to try to take individual projects from these amazing creators and try to bring them to light. This is kind of all that I have for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it and I'll see you next time. Bye.